Yo, what's going on, guys? It is non-reality. In today's video, I am bringing you 10 goals that you should be doing as a new player, or you should be looking to progress towards. Now, these goals aren't in any particular order, and they also aren't the 10 top goals you should be going for. They're just 10 goals that you can go for to give you a bit of an idea of what to do in the game. Now, if this video does well, I will make another 10 for beginners, or maybe I'll make another 10 for mid-game players or even end-game players. Let me know in the description which one you would like to see. So to start off here, first one is finish season fully. So when you make a new character in this game, you can pick to go onto the season server. And then from there is basically a fast track way to get your gear up and get a bunch of silver and get everything you need for a beginner account. I'd recommend getting that completely done, do the whole pass, buy the battle pass if you want to put a bit of money into the game. The battle pass is a great thing to buy as a beginner player, but you don't have to, you can just do it. And then once you're done with that, you can then graduate from the season. There's tons of videos on it. Personally, I don't have any for season. I will be making them, but I don't have any right now to link for you. But yes, that is the first one. Now, the next one comes basically right after you finish season. Your second goal should be starting the Jetina dailies and weeklies. If we come over here to Jetina, I'm in Velia right now. There is a lady, I just passed her, called Old Moon Guild Manager Jetina. She will have multiple quests that you can take. So the first one is your weekly quest, which is for the materials you need to make guaranteed pen armor with from your gear that you get from season. The other thing she'll have is a daily, which I don't have because I've already finished it. And what that will do is it'll make you go kill mobs, and then you will get a material that you use with the Jetina's accessory to enhance it all the way up to a pen Jetina accessory, or a pen accessory of a crescent or a narc, which is a really nice thing to get as a new player. I think it costs in total around 12 billion silver, but normally those items go for anywhere between 40 to 60 billion. So it is a good thing to work towards. Even if you don't have the silver right away, just getting the material needed every day will help you in the long run when you actually want to do that, because it does take a few months to actually get all the materials needed if you do the dailies every day. Now, next up is get a good horse. So what do I mean by this? There's a few things you want to look for. So first of all, if you are joining the game now or in a few months, there is a thing in the challenge tab. If you press Y, I've already done it, but it will give you a Vipico's like wooden horse or something along those lines. And then with that, you can actually make a dream horse, like this one right here. And when you make it, it will have all the skills, and you'll basically be set up to have the best possible horse you can get at the moment, which is really nice, or at least the best possible horse that a new player could get at the moment, which is really nice for newer players. You'll just have to level it up to make sure you have a bunch of speed and whatever you want to get. But if you come in later in the year and maybe this isn't a thing anymore, I don't know if they're going to actually keep this as a permanent thing. I would recommend using your season tokens. So if you do season, they always have these tokens, like these ones down here from the winter season, and you can hand in 30 of them for a tier 8 white horse with instant excel. So once you get that, you just come over to the stable keeper and register the horse at the stable. There'll be like a button, you register mount down here, and you'll be able to register a horse. And the horse will look something like this. Obviously, this is a tier 5, but it'll look similar to this. And then from there, you will want to get yourself sprint, instant excel, and then drift. Sprint, drift, and instant excel are the 3 skills you want to look to get. Once you get those skills, you're basically done with your horse for now until later on when you have some more silver to burn on getting a better horse. But I recommend you set that as a goal because it is a good way to get around in the open, and not just that, but it makes it so you can stack trash loot on your horse while you're grinding, so you don't have to constantly go back to a town and get rid of your silver. So the next one is get a good fairy. Now, I say get a good fairy, but honestly, all I really mean is get a miraculous cheer fairy. Honestly, early on, like if you're like in season or right out of season, I just recommend getting any miraculous cheer fairy because it just makes it so it pops HP potions for you. And it's just really easy to get at least a miraculous cheer 1 on a fairy. So get a fairy if you can. I have a guide on fairies. I'll link in the description. Get a fairy and try to get miraculous cheer at least at 1. Later on, obviously, you're going to want to get a more maxed out fairy with Miraculous Cheer 5 and Continuous Care. But for now, just try to get a Miraculous Cheer 1 fairy so you can then not have to worry about popping HP potions. So the next one is to work towards a good collection of artifacts. Now, artifacts are a item in the game that basically just gives you a bunch of extra stats, and with artifacts come light stones, and light stones have different combinations to create set effects that do a bunch of damage. So I'd recommend getting a good variety of artifacts in your artifact inventory. Once you get an artifact, you can open up your artifact inventory and right click it in your inventory, and it will go over to the artifact inventory. I would recommend going to Krutuga to grind this out, which is over here in this area. It doesn't actually show as Krutuga, but if you type in Krutuga, and then you can fast travel to the area, and it has every single artifact, and you get a bunch an hour. So I'd recommend coming here for a few hours and then saving every single artifact you get for later on. And I do have guides on artifacts and also on Krutuga, so you can go check those out if you need to. I would also recommend that once you get the monster AP artifacts, these ones right here, I'd recommend putting those on your main grinder and then just putting 4 predation in it. And what that will do is it'll just give you a bunch of monster AP buff, which is really nice. Now, the next one is get some better crystals. Now, I don't think that you will have to go and get, a bunch of billions in silver and crystals. Like, you don't have to use this set right here. This is like 11, 12 bill set. You don't have to do that. You can go over here to PvE like I have, and you can get, this set right here. This set is still like around 1.2 bill if you don't count these down here, because these aren't needed. I just like having them for the extra attack speed. But if you just built something similar to this, it would cost you around 1.2, 1.3 bill, depending on the time of buying the crystals. And that's a set that's going to last you a long time until you actually get into the really harder spots. Next up also is getting level 62. I don't know if this character has it because this character is very different, but you'll have a skill down here in the passive section. Okay, it does have it. That gives you all special attack damage plus 1%. Now, obviously 1% isn't a ton of damage, but when you're grinding a ton and you're doing, hours and hours of grinding, that 1% really adds up in your damage. And it is the basically last skill of having a level requirement at 62. So I'd recommend pushing your way to 62. My main character is level 64. I'd recommend going to some place like Underground Gyfin if you can. If not, there's a bunch of other places you can grind. I mean, even like Sakraya or Krutuga, obviously it won't give you a lot of XP, but if you grind there constantly, you'll sooner or later get to level 62. That is just a long-term goal to look forward to, so you can get that last little bit of damage from your skills. Now, next up is tier up your pets. Now, this one's kind of a hard one because it's kind of time gated in a way, but I would recommend getting 1 tier 5 and then all tier 4 pets if you can. Now, I will say, if you have like a tier, if you have like all tier 2s, I'd recommend getting 1 pet, push it really fast up to tier 5, because when you have a tier 5 pet, it actually boosts the drop pickup chance of all of your pets, or drop or pickup time limit of all your pets, so it becomes even quicker to pick up loot. So if you do a tier 5 first, you'll have a way easier time picking up loot while you're grinding, and then later on you can work on getting all of your other pets up to tier 4. Now, this is kind of difficult because they don't give you a whole ton of pets. They do in time give you pets. All of my pets I have now, I've never spent any money on. I just got them from doing events and seasons. Sometimes seasons will give out free pets and whatnot. There's also a suggested tab that has somewhere up here. I've already done it, but it will give you like 6 or 7 pets for free, which is really nice. Now, the second to last thing is getting a tent. Now, this is the only goal that I recommend that is actually a paid thing. Now, the tent you can buy from the Pearl shop. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it because I've already bought it. It might be at the bottom here, but the tent is around $40-ish. I don't remember the exact Pearl cost, but what you can do is you can actually wait for the tent to go on sale. Sometimes they'll put this tent on sale for like $27. And then from there, you could use any coupons you might have and to get it even lower. If you have a 50% coupon you've been saving, you can get the tent for about $14, which is a really cheap, cost from it being $45. And it is just a super helpful thing. You can use it to repair. You can use it to get potions if you don't have the infinite potions, and you can use it to get a bunch of buffs. It is a super nice thing to have. And if you can't get it, it is what it is. There is a free tent. It isn't good at all, but it is still something. But I still work towards it. Even if you don't get it all in one go, maybe put $5 or $10 into your Steam account at once, so sooner or later you can then get the tent. Now, the last one, and honestly probably the hardest and more tedious one, is doing your journals. So you have the adventure log right here, or the adventure logs, I guess they are called. And you'll usually have a bunch of these locked, and you'll have to do like prerequisites of just like quest lines, or maybe it'll be like, hey, be level 55 or whatnot. But once you do all the prerequisites, you'll be able to start doing these quests. Now, these quests are basically free stats or semi-free stats. Some of them do cost like a couple hundred mil silver to actually get all the items needed or whatnot. But if you do them, you'll get a ton of stats over here, which is really good for pushing the early brackets. As you can see, it's 9 AP and 9 DP. So that goes a long way. You know, if you're 270, 2 AP and you have this 9 AP will then be 281, which is a huge bracket. So I'd recommend working towards these. Don't stress over it too much though, because it is very long. As you can see, it just Igor Bertali's 15 books, and each book does have a couple pages. So it is pretty long and tedious. I'd recommend watching guides on them. Personally, I don't have any guides on them because it is very hard to make guides on them because there is so many books and so much to actually do. Now, you also don't have to do every book. As you can see, I don't have some of these books done here. So that's why watching a guide is good. It'll tell you which books you actually need to do for the AP and DP. And then the rest of them you can kind of just leave for a later date if you just want to finish them later. But yeah, hopefully these 10 goals kind of led you in the right direction for a newer player. And if you did like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.